She knows exactly what this man has done, and she's just covering it up for the sake of cover-up's sake. Yes?
Who is a thief?
You're a thief.
Yeah.
You're a thief. I don't even know if you're
You're
in
a rum-face, that's what you are.
How could you do this to me for the sake of a stranger? You're the reason why I'm here to support you, and you take up for scum like him.
I'm being honest.
You couldn't spell honest if you saw it.
Now, whose idea was it to buy the television, Connor?
It was a group decision.
You certainly discussed it. You more than discussed it. You went to the shop together, correct?
Yeah.
Excellent. All three of you?
Yep.
Now, who put up the money?
Me.
Did you pay all £3,000 of it?
Yes.
Was there an agreement at the time as to how much Lloyd would pay?
Yes.
How much?
We would split it thirds, so...
Well, in other words, it would be £1,000 each. Excellent. That is a huge purchase for this house. It's probably the most significant purchase above the furniture, right? So you would want to make sure that everybody knew where they stood and that you had the agreement in writing. Can I see it?
I don't have anything in writing.
You don't what?
Have anything in writing.
What am I supposed to do?
I think if you ask him, he'll agree that we agreed.
Let's see. Did you agree to pay £1,000 and did Scott also agree to pay his equal share for this good, yes or no?
No, we agreed to put some money in. We didn't say how much.
And in fact, I want to be absolutely clear, you did hand over some money each, correct? You both gave £500 each. That's true. You've accepted that in your reply. Correct?
Correct.
Now, this was some time ago. Why have you not paid the other £500, or Scott for that matter, which he says he's legally entitled to?
Just the fact that, like, everything in the house, all the stuff, the food, all the stuff for the bathrooms, the shower, and the cleaner. The cleaner's the big one, but I pay for it all.
Now, £500, you didn't put anything in writing, say, I'll give you the £500 back.
No.
Did you promise to give the £500 back, though?
Yes.
When?
Didn't have a time frame.
That's very important, and that's true. I believe that's true. And it's problematic for your case because of what happened. Now, you take the £1,000, that's £500 of yours, you've got another £500, and he gives it to you, right?
Yeah.
Where'd you put it?
Into my bank.
Into your bank. The plan was the next day for you to go and pay the travel agent, correct?
Correct.
No problem. What happened, please, Kill?
I ended up going out on a Saturday night, had some drinks, went back home and decided to bet the money.
You were at home with your dad, as I understand it.
My dad was at home at the time, yeah.
Yes, that means you're at home with your dad. The two of you were sitting there watching some boxing, yes?
Correct.
And you were betting on, is it Manny Pacquiao,
Yeah.
Now, you've got £1,000, but it's not your money, certainly not all of it. True?
True.
And online, you'd explain to me what happens next, please, Kill.
Well, he won the fight, so I won £100. Well, I thought I was on a hot streak, so...
You thought you were on a what?
A hot streak.
A hot streak?
It's where you win lots of bets in a row.
Yes, it's also what happens in Iron Apple after too much alcohol.
And then I ended up betting the money again.
On whom? On what?
On the casino, roulette.
Had you been drinking?
I had, yeah.
So I understand it, you woke up the next morning, and what did you think?
I hope that was a drunken dream.
On the 11th of January, you received a telephone call from Shannon, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Tell me about that telephone call. What did Shannon complain about?
She complained that there were bailiffs over her house and that her car was going to be repossessed if she couldn't pay them the specific amount of money they had set.
She asked you for the money. You were not satisfied at that stage that you were just going to hand over a significant portion of your compensation, which was the only pot you had, correct?
Correct, Judge.
What evidence did you ask for from Shannon?
I believe I asked her to provide documentation that the bailiffs had brought over to prove that it was that specific amount of money.
Why did you want evidence? What were you worried about?
Shannon would constantly ask for money and would often phone people crying, saying that she was in dire need of money, and then use that money, but didn't further her cause.
Was it 780?
Yes.
I believe it was, and I've seen that relevant evidence. Now, that wasn't the beginning and the end of it. And this is where, I'm afraid to say, sir, it gets a little bit difficult in your case, and I'm very troubled from a legal point of view. Did you lend her the £780?
I did indeed, Judge.
Now, you didn't just lend her the £780. As I understand it, there was a further sum included in the money that you extended to her. How much?
I added £70 interest on the £100 she already owed me.
Do you accept that you had previously borrowed £100?
He babysat my son and charged me for that, so it's not really, I didn't owe him money.
The answer is no.
No.
I do not accept that I owe £100. 780, no problem. She says that was for babysitting. It's a gift. It's what families do for each other, especially families that have been through such profound crisis. Second thing you say you're entitled to, in addition to that 100, is interest on the fact that she hadn't paid you that £100. What interest? What proportion? What percentage?
Technically, it was 70% interest.
70% interest? On what?
She had owed me this money for over a year and had slowly... It was initially a higher sum, but she had only paid £50 off.
So you were retrospectively allowed, you say, as a matter of law, to say, well, as you owe me £100, I'm now going to charge you 70% interest on the capital sum that I extended you in the first place. Are you a payday loan company?
No, Judge.
I think it's stupid, to be honest. I'm his sister. Like I said, he's not a loan shark, but that's my brother for you. Anything he can do to get his money. He forgets, like, he helped me when I needed him. I'm not disputing that, but when he went through a tough time with his dog, it might just be a dog to you lot, but his dog died, and I paid for his ashes. Not his dad, not anyone that he was living with, it was me. But I didn't ask him for that money back.
She did not pay for the ashes. She lent the money for the ashes. In return, I would pay her back later on when I had my money.
Did she also suggest that you were a thief?
Yes.
What did she say to your company?
Email here. I've got the email here.
What email are you referring to, sir?
One of the emails that was actually people searching to find out exactly where I am in the firm and who my manager is and things like that.
Thank you very much. Can I have this email?
Because she actually phoned up who I work for. But because of data protection, I can't actually get a copy of that phone call.
Absolutely right, you can't. Thank goodness your firm took a sensible view here.
Yes, sir.
You're very lucky. I suspect it's because you're a very good employee. But you understand the nature of the job that you do. An allegation that you were dishonest and threatening could have resulted in serious disciplinary action and immediate suspension. Do you understand how serious that is?
Yes, sir.
And he could have lost his licence.
When you heard that that had happened, that call had been made by Anita, what did that do to you? How did you feel?
I wasn't happy. I was shocked.
And we couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe that she would stoop to that sort of level.
Anita, 2 allegations. You phoned his company to say he was a thief, correct?
I did, Judge.
Phoned the company to say he'd been
Because
threatening.
I had a...
What had he stolen?
Well, he's stolen, like, the Kindle and the drill. They're both together. And also...
Now, let me tell you, it's a
also-
matter between you and your sister.
I had a phone call from him, and it wasn't a very nice phone call. He actually said to me, I know what's wrong with you. You could do a good... That's what he said to me.
Did you say that, sir?
No.
Can I just say it in one way to answer, Your Honour?
You also suggest that Phil is frankly dishonest. Not just, listen, not just with me in the court today, but also with his own wife. That's your view, isn't it?
He's a cheat. He has cheated on his wife. He's left her for someone else.
What's more, you tell me that you wouldn't be surprised if he would what? Who might he cheat with?
I'm sure if he had his chance, he would me. Judge, that is
You think
why...
I'm that desperate?
Shh, shh, quiet.
Phil, please.
Quiet.
Please, please, please.
Understood. Now, sir, I wasn't going to call you into this case, I want to be clear, until I discovered what had happened to you. As part of the court proceedings at any time, if it's in the interest of justice, and I have a litigant in my court, that's you, I am free and have discretion to ask you whether you'd like to join a claim with your wife, whether you'd like to bring a claim against Anita for her actions. Would you like to do that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, you've heard what Anita said, that perhaps you are somebody with a roving eye, and that might include her. Now, as a matter of form and law, and for the record, I have to ask you your response to that, sir.
For the record, yes, and Linda knows I have had an affair during our marriage.
I'm not interested in that. What I'm
Roving eye on her, no chance. Hell will freeze over first.
Understood. Anita, what would you like to add? Anything you would like?
Well, what she's been saying and that, and him, it's all lies. I do regret ringing up. I should have done it in the proper channel. But I was angry at...
No excuse.
It's OK. Do you miss Linda?
No,
Fair enough.
I never, ever want to see her again. Ever.
Fair enough.
She's hurt me too much, too many times
I understand.
over the years.
The only time I'll probably see her, Your Honour, again will be probably when my mother passes over.
I doubt it.
He came to you to borrow £900, correct?
Yeah.
And that's after you had this 2,300 windfall. You were prepared to lend it to him, and you did lend it to him. And according to you, you did so in circumstances where there was an agreement he would pay back £20 per week. Is that right?
Yeah.
£20 a week at that stage would have been a lot of money for you. Now, sir, did you put that in writing? At that time?
No, I didn't, because obviously I didn't think I'd have an issue with it. I thought I was good enough to lend it. I thought, he told me that he'd be able to pay it back. So maybe he just said that because he wanted the money. So at the time, I just lent him the money and I got one payment back in 3 months.
When it was quite clear that £20 per, was it per week?
Per week.
£20 a week was thoroughly undoable for him. You decided to put it on a legal footing. This is a contract agreement between me and my brother, outlining the agreement to pay me back £900 he borrowed from me. Jeffrey has agreed to pay me back £10 a week until he's cleared the debt. £10 per week. You reduced the sum, in other words. Now, looking at that contract, at that time, there was nothing on the bottom. Is that true?
That's true.
Thank you very much. Why couldn't you pay the £10 then?
I was struggling. Things got dead bad for me.
How bad were they?
Where I was struggling to feed my kids. Like, obviously, whatever he had, it went on the kids. I went without, going around lending bits of money off my mum to top up the electricity and gas.
Understood. Now, at that stage, rather than enforcing the debt as you could have done, said you're not going to pay this back, you could have taken him to court in that way. What you did is you then went and did a third thing. At this stage, you went back to his house, this is in September, and that's when we get this last bit added. It says as follows: due to failure to pay, Jeffrey agrees to pay £300 interest. He also understands that I will keep adding interest if he fails to meet the agreement. In other words, you add a penalty in September. Now, look at that last bit. I will keep adding interest if he fails to meet the agreement. At what rate? 5%? 20? 1,000? 3,000?
I writ that. I was angry when I writ that. I'm not going to lie.
Of course you were. Believe you.
But I thought that'd help him pay.
You thought making him in more debt would help him?
Well, thinking if he doesn't pay, he's going to have to pay an extra £300. And he signed it.
He did sign it.
Because I felt pressured.
Why did you feel pressured, sir?
Well, he treated me more like a client, like he was a loan shark than my brother. You know what I mean? He just put me on the spot, round at my mum's, just slammed it in front of me, told me about it, and obviously I just felt, you know what I mean, like cornered, if you will. So I just signed it and left.
Don't be stupid. Stay and watch the best Judge Rinder moments. And I'm talking. Understood? Don't be a moron. Subscribe to Judge Rinder YouTube channel. Right now. That's an order.